Only mode.
Good morning, all. This is Grandison Shines, Chief Marketing Officer here at Direct to Business Marketing. Thank you all very, very much for attending this webinar. We're going to be talking about how to get to the top of Google. Now, how did this come about? Well, I walked over to Dustin and said, "Hey, man, let's do a webinar." I said, "But you got to behave, man, because once you get on here, you can't go too buck wild and just give out all the secret sauce." But no, I'm just playing. So I've been talking to Dustin about how we can share some information to you all about what we do regarding SEO. Now, we know some of you out there would love the opportunity to get at the top of Google so you can get more leads, get more organic leads. Once you put a lot of this in place, which he's going to talk about today, you will definitely have the opportunity to not only increase your website's search engine or increase your website ranking in the SERPs or the search engine result pages, but also to start getting more clients, start getting your website viewed more. One of the important things that Google announced earlier this year is that now, okay, so listen to this. Now, if you do not have a web optimized site, the algorithm will push your site down lower. Why? Because for the first time, I believe it was back in June, the desktop searches were under. So I should say that the mobile device searches surpassed the desktop and laptop searches. So that is huge for the market, and that is going to be a game changer when we're talking about search engine optimization. Now, you know they're continuously changing their algorithms, so we're going to give you some good information. This is a 4-part webinar series, and Dustin is going to kick it off with part 1. So stay tuned for next Tuesday for part 2, next Thursday for part 3, and then the following Tuesday for part 4, the finalization of that piece, which is the bonus piece, which you're going to really love. So we have the honor and privilege to work with some really, really great companies and share some really good information. So I see there's a lot of people still coming on. And again, I just want to thank you all for attending. So without further ado, Dustin, who is the COO, he and his team run, for those of you who are clients on, they run all of the day-to-day actions. So all of the SEO, pay-per-click, copywriting for the articles and press releases, he and his team, they facilitate all of that. And we have, because of that team, we have really engulfed in some really good search engine results. So he's going to share some things with you today about SEO local. He's going to tell you what that is, why you should do it, what are the benefits. So without further ado, Dustin, fire away when you are ready.
All right. Well, good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you're at. And as Granson said, my name is Dustin Fickbohm, and I am the Chief Operating Officer. I've got 2 goals here today, and one of them is to inform you, and the other one is to not waste your time. You will figure out very shortly in this process that I am not the salesman in this company. I want to help you help yourself. So we will go through this quickly and concisely, and I will leave all kinds of time for questions at the end of this webinar, and hopefully you get some questions answered and you walk away from this webinar with some actionable tasks that you can do for yourself or your assistant can do for your company, or however your structure may work. Hopefully you walk away with some good information here today. So we're talking about getting to the top of Google, and there are multiple ways to do that. What Grandison didn't mention, we're Direct Business Marketing, and many of you are clients. Some of you are not. We have been in business for about 10 years collectively as a company, but each of the partners in this company has been in their respective roles with other companies, so we bring a lot of experience to the table. And most of the people on this webinar are real estate professionals or realtors, and the bulk of our clients are in that industry. So we kind of carved our niche in real estate, and we really feel like we can help you as realtors achieve some successes. More sales and slides. Some of this stuff is just standard protocol for our sales presentations, and I just didn't take it out of there when this was built for us. This is us. I'm this guy down here. That's really bad lighting. I think there's a better picture of me here somewhere. Oh, there's a better picture of me right there. So I am the Chief Operating Officer of Direct Business Marketing. And like Ransom said, my team handles our local SEO services, our organic SEO services, our pay-per-click services, all three of which we'll be talking about in these webinars, and a bunch of other things that are not relevant to this webinar series, so I'm not going to bother you with the details. But today we're going to focus on that local SEO. The sales guys would like me to tell you about our general inbound marketing process. We firmly believe in this process, and that is to generate traffic to your website, your retail store, your Facebook page, wherever you have a business presence, whether it's physical or on the internet. The first step in your inbound marketing process, we hope, is to generate traffic to that place. When you generate that traffic, we hope you're capturing the information for whoever is visiting that place, whether it's your store or your website or your Facebook page. And when you capture it, you should have a smart place to store that information, and then you should nurture that information, those people, until you get a sale from them. Now, this is a critical part of what we believe in here at Direct Business Marketing: the generate, capture, store, nurture. And I can't really tell you how it's amazing how often we have current clients come to us and say, "Hey, I just thought I'd let you know we generated a lead in 2012, and they've been in our CRM for 3 years, and we've been nurturing them, dripping on them with emails and phone calls every quarter, and et cetera, and we took a listing from them today." So this process, generate, capture, store, nurture, is essential, and that's really why we do what we do. We want to give you guys success, and success might not come today. You might not get a lead and turn it into a listing today, but hopefully you have something like this in place where you're generating leads, capturing them, storing them, and then nurturing them until they do become an actual listing, a buyer or a seller, or somebody that's buying your mattresses if you're not in the real estate industry, whatever your industry might be. So for the bulk of this conversation today, I make the assumption, and I think it's rightfully so, that the majority of you are in the real estate industry. So for the purposes of our discussion today, I will be referring generally to many real estate things. So hopefully you're using this process in your business already. If you're not, I would hope you strongly consider it: generate, capture, store, and nurture. As Granson said, this is a 4-part series. Today we're going to talk about local SEO and what that is and whether or not you should use it and how you can do it yourself. Next Tuesday we'll talk about organic SEO, and that's a bit of an animal, but hopefully some of you already know a little bit about that. I hope you can join us on Tuesday for that. And then a week from today we'll talk about pay-per-click. A lot of people have some hesitations about pay-per-click, but it definitely is the shortest distance between you and a listing. Obviously it costs some money to do it, but many times the ROI on pay-per-click is so amazing if it's done right that you just don't want to stop. And then the bonus, which I'm not going to explain to you too much today, but I will tell you that with the bonus, it would be in your best interest, if you're interested in the bonus, to make sure you see today's presentation and the organic SEO presentation on Tuesday, because the bonus incorporates some ideas from both of those. So that's all I'll go into about the bonus, but those are our 4 webinars in this series, and I hope you can make it to each one of them or see the videos post-production. So today we're going to focus on local SEO. Here's my contact information if you need to reach out to me directly. You'll also notice that Granison's contact information is at the bottom of each one of these slides. He's typically the presenter, so he's kind of the face of our company when it comes to dealing with customers. So if you need to reach out to either one of us, my contact information is there on the screen, and Granison's is at the bottom of the slide. feel free to reach out to us at any time. We'd love to give advice and offer some help on how you can market your business better. So let's jump into it. What is local SEO? Plain and simple, local SEO is directories. Much like a phone book, directories are simply a collection of businesses or people or ideas, but in this case we're speaking about businesses. So local SEO, for the purposes of this conversation, are simply directories on the internet. And there's a great blurry picture of an internet search. I think I've got a better one here. Yes, so I went ahead and I did a search for dentist in Boulder, Colorado. Now, if you look at this search, dentist in Boulder, Colorado, you're going to see some different areas here. So on the top and down the right column, that's your pay-per-click. That's your pay-per-click advertising, which will be the third of our webinar series. This section right here is directory. So if you are working on getting your business in directories, this is where you may potentially show up in a search on Google. And I should say also that we're going to talk about Google and their search rankings, but this applies generally across all search engines, including Bing and Yahoo. Obviously, Google, Bing, and Yahoo are the big three. But the ideas here, well, I may be speaking about Google, they apply to Bing and Yahoo as well. And then beyond the pay-per-click and the directories, we have the organic search, which is down here, and it continues over here. But I want to bring your attention to this one right here, because this, if you notice, hopefully you can see it well, this is actually an organic result from a directory. So if you can read this, hopefully you can. This is a Yelp page, and by simply listing his business in Yelp, this dentist in Boulder, Colorado, was able to get to the top page of Google, not his website, but a reference to him and a way to contact him. And that's part of the goal and what we're trying to achieve today with local SEO. Oh, got to get that junk out of there. So when we talk about these 4 ways to get yourself to the top of Google, it's important to note that not each of these ways is right for every business. So one of the first things we do with our clients or our potential clients is we help them identify whether or not they should even be using this specific service. So with local SEO, who should take advantage of it? And you should ask yourself these questions. First of all, do you own or run a business? And I would imagine the bulk of you on this phone call probably either own or run your own business. Now, with your business, would you typically list your business in a phone book or Yellow Pages? If this was 1996, would you be listing your business in a phone book or the Yellow Pages? Hopefully, you still do that. That's not a dead proposition, right? So hopefully, you're still listing your business in a phone book or the Yellow Pages. But if you would list them in a phone book, your business in a phone book, Yellow Pages, then you should also be considering taking advantage of local SEO on the internet. Do you want customers to find you? If the answer to that is yes, and I would imagine that it is, then you should probably be doing local SEO. And that may seem like a dumb question, but we do have clients who simply don't want customers to find them. And I'll give you an example. In the area that I live in, there are a number of general contractors and home builders that are so busy that they really don't care if customers find them. They have enough business word of mouth that they don't want to take a phone call when they're shingling a roof or putting up a wall. So they don't worry about their marketing and their advertising. They don't really care if customers find them. And then the last question you should ask, is your business or service confined to a specific area? And given the fact that most of you are realtors, I would imagine the answer to that question is also yes. If you're a mattress company, we have a client who's a mattress who owns a mattress company, and he sells only via the internet. He doesn't have a storefront. He just has a factory, and he sells factory direct to customers. So his business is not local. His business is national. So having a local presence on the internet is largely irrelevant for him because nobody's trying to find him local. He's trying to reach out to a national audience. So these 4 questions will kind of help guide you in whether or not you should be using local SEO. So how does it work? Well, in a very general sense, you're going to list your business in online directories. And when we talk about online directories, the first thing to consider is general business directories. And some of the main ones are Google, Yahoo, Bing, Yelp. There are other ones, and actually we'll provide you with a list of business directories that we use at the end of this webinar. But beyond general business directories, you should also consider industry-specific directories. So for real estate agents, real estate professionals, brokers, buyer's agents, seller's agents, whatever, however you title yourself, you should consider places like Zillow and Trulia and Agent Like, Top Agent Locator. I'm sorry, was somebody saying something? All right, so you should consider industry-specific directories. Realtor in San Antonio, and among the search results, what I found was there were no realtors in the first 10 results. The first 10 results were dominated by Zillow, Realtor.com, and there was one other that I cannot recall right now. But what that tells me is if somebody's looking for a realtor in San Antonio, then the best way for you to get their attention is to be in directories. And hopefully many of you are already listed on Realtor.com or Zillow's buddy Trulia. Hopefully many of you are an agent like. Top Agent Locator is actually a little bit of a different animal in the fact that you have to apply to be an agent with Top Agent Locator, but I believe it's available to all of you. And I threw Psychology Today in there because it's a great example of one of our other clients outside of real estate. We have a gentleman who's in the field of psychology in the Phoenix metro area, and the bulk of his customers, I'm talking 75 to 80% of his customers, find him through a directory. He's got a website, he's got a phone number, he's got business cards, but the bulk of his clients come through a directory, Psychology Today. So there's a lot of value in being in directories. So while you're listing your business in online directories, Google is doing its job, and Google's job is to search for information to give to people when they use the search engine, right? So they're out there looking for relevant information to provide to a user who's searching for a realtor in San Antonio or a real estate agent in Kalamazoo, Michigan, et cetera, et cetera. So Google views these directories like Google and Yahoo and Bing and Yelp and et cetera, all these other directories. They view these directories as having some authority. So because they have authority, they're important to Google. Because they're important to Google, Google is going to throw them up on that first results page for page 1 when somebody searches for a realtor in San Antonio or psychologist in Phoenix, Arizona, right? So Google is using this information from directories to provide great results to the people searching in the search engines. And like I said before, this applies to Bing and Yahoo search engines as well. So I'm going to tell you how we do it. I'm going to tell you how you can do it. And hopefully from there, you can either choose to use this service or not choose to use it. But hopefully you'll have some information to walk away with that can help you land your business on the first page of Google. Maybe not your website, but your business. And that is the goal. Ultimately, the goal is to get your name and your contact information in front of people that might need your services. So step 1 is to identify relevant directories. And I mentioned this earlier, we will actually give you a list at the end of this webinar of the relevant directories that we use. So we start with general business directories, as I said before, and The biggest ones, Yelp, Google+, Bing, Yahoo, and hopefully many of you are already in some of these. That's a great thing if you are. There are a number of other ones. We actually use a list of about roughly 50 general business directories that we submit to for our clients. And I will tell you that relevant directories come and go. The one thing we have noticed through this process over the years is that there is a mainstay. There's a group of business directories, including Yelp and Google and Bing and Yahoo, that are here and they're here to stay. But there are other directories that are relevant at times, and at times they aren't relevant. It depends upon where you live in the country. It depends upon what time of year it is. So many directories exist for a few years and they're bought out by another directory. And some directories show up out of the blue and they exist for a while, or they get a staying presence and Google finds them relevant. So the relevant directories change on a regular basis outside of maybe the top 15 or 20. So that's one of the values that we have as a company. We continually keep track of which directories are relevant to the search engine. So general directories and then industry-specific directories. And I spoke about those earlier as well with Zillow and Realtor.com, AgentLike.com, Top Agent Locator, and there are a number of other ones that you might already know about that we're not privy to, that are specific to your industry. So getting your business listed in these directories is of value. So that's the first thing we do. We identify the relevant directory. The second thing we do is we create a business profile for each one of our clients that takes on this service with us. Now, there are reasons why we create a specific business profile. Obviously, first and foremost is we need the information to submit to directories on behalf of our client. When you go into this process, if you do it yourself, you're going to know many of these pieces of information. But I would suggest that you create a business profile for your business so that you have that information readily available when you submit to directories. And that business profile should include information like your email, your physical address, your phone number, what industry are you in, keywords that are related to your industry. So for the purpose of this discussion, it would be things like real estate agent and realtor and listing agent or buyer's agent or seller's agent. And there are other business things that these directories will request, like hours of operation. What kind of payments do you accept? That's not necessarily relevant for you, but for other businesses, they'll ask, do you accept MasterCard, American Express, Discover, etc., etc. A business profile would be a good idea. The number of years you've been in business. Are you associated with any professional associations? Are you a member of this or that or the next thing? Do you have a social media presence? Do you have a Twitter page, a Facebook page, a LinkedIn page? And what languages do you speak? And there are a few other oddities that you should include with your business profile. Now, one of the reasons why it is important to create a business profile when you're going through this process is that you should have your information exactly the same in every single one of these directories. So if you're Tom Jones Homes, you should be Tom Jones Homes in every directory. If you're Tom Jones Homes in one directory and you're Tom Jones Homes Incorporated in another directory, then Google sees that as two different companies. And we want Google to see you as the same company in every directory, because when they see that you're the same company 50 times, they say, hey, this business must be relevant. It appears 50 separate times in 50 separate directories. There's something relevant about this business. And because you're relevant, you're going to be provided to the searchers in Google. So as you submit to directories, it's important for you to have the exact information the same every single time. And each one of these directories is going to ask for different pieces of information. No two directories ask for the same information. Some of them will want information only about your email address, phone number, and physical address. Some of them will want a whole bunch of information. There are even directories out there that ask for a picture of your storefront, if you have one. So step one, identify the relevant directory. Step two, create a business profile for yourself that you can just copy and paste the information from the profile into the directories. So you're going to go submit your information to as many directories as you see fit. Now, if you're doing this yourself and you don't want to submit to 50 or 100 directories, I strongly suggest you start with the top 8, the top 10, the top 12, right? The big ones, the Googles, the Bings, the Yahoos, the Realtor.com, which I'm sure many of you are already in, Zillow, things like that. Agent Like is another one that's starting to get indexed on a more regular basis by Google. So submit your information to as many directories as you see fit. Once you have done that, in many cases, and not all cases, but in many cases, you'll have to go through a verification process with the directories. Sometimes you'll submit your information, and the directory will say, thanks for the information, here's your listing, and boom, you're in the directories. But there are plenty of situations where you submit your information, and the directory says, okay, well, prove that you're real to us. We're going to send you an email, and we want you to click on this link to activate your listing in our directory. Or we're going to send you a text message with a verification code, and you have to put this code in on a certain page so that we know that you're a real person, and then we'll make your listing in this directory live. Or they'll send you a postcard. Yahoo, actually, I believe, sends postcards, and they say, we're going to send you an access code on a postcard, and you're going to get it in 2 days or 2 weeks. When you get the postcard, you're going to have to go back to a website and put in that information. So step after you put in your information, you have to verify with many of these directories that you're real, and then your listing can actually be live. So after you verify with each directory, you're going to confirm that your listing is present in the directory. You don't want to go through all the work of submitting to a directory and then verifying that you're real, and then finding out that the directory didn't actually list, right? So when we do this for our customers, we submit, then we verify, and then we confirm. That's it. You're done. That's the whole process. This is actually a fairly simple process for you to do if you follow these steps. It can be time-consuming. So I'll show you what we do so you can keep record of your own directory submission process. We actually provide to our clients now a report, and you'll see on the far left we have a list of all the directories that we submitted this company, XYZ company, and the date in which we submitted to the company and the date in which it was confirmed. And then we also provide a URL, a link, so that our clients can go to the specific directory to see their listing in that directory. So a couple of things to note here. First of all, you'll note that the submit date and the confirm date are sometimes the same day, and sometimes they're 3 months or 4 months or 6 months later. That is, to be perfectly honest, that is one of the headaches of this process, babysitting a directory submission until it actually becomes confirmed and live. So we provide this to our clients. The one piece of information that I haven't shown you with this report is there's also another column that has a username and password for any directory that needs a username and password, so that after we do this for our clients, if they want to go in and change their logo or change their business hours or change their contact number, they have access to the accounts, to the directories after we submit to them, so they can go change any relevant information they would like to. So customized report includes which directories, when it was submitted, when it was confirmed, URL of the directory to give you proof and so you can see your actual listing in the directory. And then login information, the username and password, which obviously I'm not going to show you with this specific customer. So, local SEO, what are the benefits of doing this? Well, first and foremost, one of the great things about this is you do it one time and you're done. With pay-per-click or with organic SEO, you don't get to do it once and be done. It's a continual process forever and ever and ever and ever, as long as you want to continue it, right? But with local SEO, you submit to these directories and you're done. Unless you need to go edit your contact information or your hours of operation or your business specifics one time and you're done. Set it and forget it, right? You exist on the internet forever in that directory after you do it one time. And that's really one of the beautiful things about it. The other thing that I didn't put in here is that it's free. For many of these directories, it's simply free to put your business in the directory. There are paid directories. There are directories that you can go into and pay money to have your business listed. But the truth of the matter is we have not found that the paid directories are any better indexed with Google than the free ones. So we avoid paid directories. If you want to pay money to be in a directory, that is certainly your choice. But I don't see a need for it for our clients. I don't see a need for it for our specific business. So use that as a guideline as you go through this process. So another benefit is the first page Google Juice. So we call it Google Juice. When you get to the first page, we just call it Google Juice. It's a catchy little term around this place. But like I showed you with the search engine results, you haven't done anything except for submit your business to a directory, and by doing that, you can randomly show up on page 1 of Google. When somebody searches for you or your type person in your specific area, you can show up on Google's first page. Another thing which we don't talk about much when we talk about local SEO is the value of backlinks to your actual website. This is maybe getting a little bit technical, but anytime you have a link to your actual website from some other place on the internet, that creates value to your website. So if you're submitting your business to 50 directories or 10, even 10 directories, you oftentimes will have to put in the name of your website in these directories. And when you do that, you just created a backlink to your directory, or to your website, I'm sorry. So you've created value for your website by submitting your business information to a different website. And that's called backlinking, and it creates value for you as a business. That's one of the benefits that we don't talk about much, but it's incredibly important if you're trying to get your website to move up in Google's eyes, right? The other thing is the NAP, which also acts as a backlink. And NAP, what the heck is that? Well, NAP is name, address, phone number. And Google now, with its search algorithms, is looking for a name, address, and a phone number. If they see a name, address, and a phone number, and it appears repeatedly across the internet as they crawl the internet, then they see that as valuable. They say, okay, this business is showing up all over the place. It's the same address, same number, same name, same address, same phone number in several different places. There must be something relevant about this business. Now, there's not any URL link to click with a name, address, or phone number, but Google is still seeing the fact that you're showing up in a multitude of places. And because you're showing up in a multitude of places, you have value, or they perceive you to have value for their searchers. So when somebody says, I want a realtor in San Antonio, and Google notices that your business name, address, and phone number are listed multiple times, and you're a realtor in San Antonio, they're going to see more relevance in providing your information to somebody searching on Google. So the NAP is something that is becoming increasingly valuable with Google search algorithms. So having your name, address, and phone number out there on the internet in multiple places, and exactly the same, like I said before, exactly the same in every single place, is incredibly important. So what are the drawbacks? Well, the biggest drawback is time. Our local SEO team has a lot of experience doing this. So I talked with them as a whole, and I asked them, how long does it take to do this process for our clients? Now, they have experience, so take this information with a grain of salt, but on average, with their experience, it takes them approximately 15 minutes to submit to a directory. Now, that's just putting your information, or our client's information, I should say, into one specific directory. It takes about 15 minutes to find the correct link, submit the right information, and put it in. Now, that doesn't take into account the amount of time you have to wait to be verified, and then also confirm that your listing is listed in that directory. So 15 minutes roughly on average. And many people see that as a drawback. If you have better things to do with your time, then that is definitely a drawback. The other thing is a lack of consistency across directories. And what I mean by that is, among the 50-plus directories we submit to, each directory asks for things in a little bit different way. Some of them just want 3 pieces of information: name, address, phone number. And some of them want a multitude of information. They want to know who you are, how long you've been alive, what's the color of your eyes, what's the name of your second-born child. They want so much information that it takes an incredible amount of time to put that in. But no 2 directories are the same. So that becomes a headache if you're doing this yourself. It's not as much of a headache for our team, obviously, because they're used to it. They know that when they go into some random directory, they know the information that already needs to be provided. So the lack of consistency across directories is a pain in the butt. And there's a listing of some of the things that make the lack of consistency a problem. Where are you going to go on a specific website, on a specific directory to submit your information? What needs to be submitted? How is your submission verified, or whether it's via text message or postcard or email link or phone call? And then how long do you have to actually babysit each submission? And by babysit, I mean how long do you have to keep an eye out for that postcard coming in the mail, or that email coming with the link you have to click on, or the text message that's going to come through your phone to put in the verification code. So that's one of the problems with doing this process. So you knew it was coming. My sales guys wouldn't let me go through this webinar without telling you about the service we provide to our clients. So we actually provide this service to our clients, and we provide it in 2 different ways depending upon really how you manage your money. So the one, we do it with a one-time payment of $1,000, or we also offer a 6-month plan, $200 payments across 6 months. So if you don't want to do this yourself, we will certainly do it for you. We have a ton of experience doing it for our clients, and these are the 2 different ways you can have us do it for you. Now, with your local SEO service through direct business marketing, what we provide for you is your business submitted and verified to 50-plus directories across the internet. And obviously that includes the big ones, but it also includes the smaller ones that are maybe more important regionally in some places versus other places. So we're going to submit your business and verify it to 50-plus directories. And depending on which of the 2 programs you choose, if you choose a one-time payment, the entire process can be done in 30 to 60 days. And if you choose the 6-month payment plan, then the process can be completed in 180 days, which basically means that we're completing the 50 directories across the 6 months that you're paying us. You'll notice the asterisks at the end of both of those statements. And the asterisk exists there because part of this process does depend upon our clients getting us information. You have to get us a business profile so we can submit to these directories. And there are cases when our team will reach out to you because they need to know what the verification code is that was sent on a postcard to your business. So there are times when communication between you and our team can delay or expedite this process. So generally speaking, that is the time frame you're looking at if we were to do it for you. As a benefit to come to this webinar, if you decide not to do this yourself and you would like us to do it for you, the sales team decided that you get a 10% discount. And check this out, they even did the math for you. Holy cow. So if you want to do the one-time payment, that's $900 for a one-time fee. 6 months is $180 across 6 months if we were to do it for you. So that is, in a nutshell, local SEO. And let's just touch base on exactly how this works again so we're all on the same page, and then I'll take some questions. So you're going to identify directories to put your business in, and there is a link to our list of directories. dbm.media/SEO local dir. If you click on that link, you're going to get a list of the 50, I believe it's about 62, don't quote me on that, I know it's more than 50. You're going to get a list of all the directories that we submit our clients to through this process. So take advantage of that if you're going to do this yourself. And to be perfectly honest, if you're in business and you're looking for customers, you should be doing this. Or you should have an office assistant doing this. Or somebody should be doing this for you. You need to get your business into these directories. So there's a list of all the directories that we currently submit to. I will tell you that our list changes on a quarterly basis because some of the directories at the bottom of that list, they come and they go. They get purchased by other directories. They stop maintaining the directory and somebody doesn't pay the bill for the website and things shuts off. So that is the current list of directories we submit to on behalf of our clients. So step one, identify the directories to put your business in, and we've actually done that for you with this list, right? Step two, create a business profile to ensure that your information is exactly the same in every single directory, all right? Exactly the same is important, and I outlined why it's important earlier. So make sure that your information is exactly the same in every directory. And then don't go through this process without verifying that your listing exists in these directories via whatever way each of these directories decides to have you verified. Some of them won't have you verify at all. They'll just say, hey, thanks for your information. You're in our directory. Whoop-de-doo, right? But others are going to make you verify that you're real. They don't want to get spammed by a bunch of fake businesses in Indonesia or Nigeria or wherever, right? So they make you verify. And then obviously after you verify, you still need to confirm, go find your listing in those directories. You went through the process of submitting to the directory, and then you verified in the directory. Now go make sure you're in the directory, all right? And if you're not, obviously find out why. So that's the process here. And then as we showed you with the report we provide to our clients, we recommend that you store all of your directory information in one place so that if you change locations with your business or you change your phone number or you decide you're only going to work from 10 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon, you want to change your business hours. Well, if you store all of your directory information in one handy place, then when you need to go change information on certain websites, you can do that. You have all the information in one handy place. That's how we do it. That's how we recommend you do it too. All right, I went through that kind of fast because I don't like to waste people's time. I hope that you got some value from it, and I would love to take any questions that you have about local SEO.
All right, Dustin, we do have a couple of questions here. Let me get to them. One gentleman says, does this type of SEO work for businesses without a brick and mortar location?
Yeah, and I think I addressed that a little bit previously, but it certainly is of value to people without a brick and mortar location. Each of you has a mailing address, right? Whether it's a P.O. box at a UPS store or, something of that nature. Each of you has a physical location. The goal here with local SEO is to give people looking for your service as many different options as possible to find you. That should be your goal all the time, I hope. But so whether you have a retail storefront, a brick and mortar store or not, you're still trying to give potential clients as many ways as possible to find you. Unless you just have enough business, like the contractors in my area who just don't want to be bothered with a phone call while they're on a roof, right? So yeah, if you don't have a brick and mortar store, this still is a great idea for your business.
Okay, cool. The next one says, how important is SEO Local for my online strategy. And what I think he means is this is something that you would primarily do for an online campaign.
Well, this is one piece of the puzzle. You know, there are a number of things with your online strategy that can help your business presence on the internet. But one of the great things about local SEO is it's free. I mean, show me somebody who doesn't like free, right?
Sure.
Obviously, It takes a little bit of your time, but it's free to get into many of these directories, and especially when you're talking about things like Google and Google Plus, Google Maps, Bing Maps, Bing's directory, Yahoo's directory. These are major search engines. You being associated with their directory is invaluable. It's so important because there might be somebody down the street from your office searching for your services, and because of their physical location, and hear me right when I say this, because of where they're physically sitting at a computer searching, Google knows where they're at. They know where you're at. And because of your close proximity physically, Google may provide you as a result in their search. So
right.
It's a critical piece of your online strategy.
Okay, perfect. One other person says, what does SEO stand for?
Sure. I should have probably explained that a long time ago. So, you know, SEO, I apologize. When you use terms like this on a daily basis, you sometimes forget that it's not a familiar vernacular to everybody across the universe. So SEO is search engine optimization, and essentially what that means is you're optimizing your business, yourself, your entity for the search engines. You're creating a better possibility that you show up in the search engine for somebody that's searching for your business. Search engine optimization, that's what SEO stands
for. Okay. Next question. How can I view a repost of this webinar? We'll take that one last. Do you have a directory for bridal store businesses?
We do not specifically have a directory for bridal store businesses, but I would imagine that I can hunt one down for you. Because the bridal store industry is not in our wheelhouse, I would say that if one exists, if you're a bridal store owner, you are probably just as privy to that information as I am. I guess I'm not familiar enough with the bridal store industry to tell you whether there is a organization or a membership or someplace where bridal store owners collaborate and come together.
Well, they can still benefit from, correct me if I'm wrong here, but they will still benefit from the SEO local process as we have it, right? Being in the Yelps, Dexes, and everything else, correct?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, I mean, you know, we talked about the general business directories versus the industry-specific directories, and the truth of the matter is that unless there is a bridal store directory that is relevant to Google, and I am unaware of them, partly because I don't know the industry well enough, but unless there is one that is highly relevant to Google, then your best bet as a bridal store owner is to be in the general directories, the Googles, the Yelps, the Bings, the Yahoo, etc.
Okay. All right. Here's a good one. Do we register under our individual name or our brokerage name?
That is a good question. And I will tell you, yes, you do. And that is my coy way of saying you can do either, but whichever one you do, be consistent. I guess the question becomes, it's kind of a tricky one, I guess, because are you trying to advertise your entire brokerage, or are you trying to advertise and market you as a realtor?
Right.
Well, that's maybe the question you need to answer for yourself. when you decide whether you should be putting your name in or your brokerage name in. I would tell you that if we have a number of clients that are Keller Williams realtors, so I reference that sometimes when I speak. But if you are a Keller Williams realtor, I would not put my business name in as Keller Williams. That would be entirely too general for you to specifically get the Google juice that you want. So hopefully you have a team name. I would recommend using a team name. If you don't have a team name, then it's probably a good idea to use your specific name. Because I guess now that I talk about it and think about it, people aren't generally searching for. When I look at the people that are searching the internet for a realtor, they're not searching for a brokerage in San Antonio. They're searching for a realtor in San Antonio, or a real estate agent in San Antonio, or a home buying specialist in San Antonio. So I would recommend, I guess, now that I actually talked through it, I would recommend submitting to a business as you, a person, unless you have a team name. If you're the Joe Blow real estate team and you're in charge of the team, you got a couple agents that work under you, then it would behoove you to list your team rather than you as an individual.
Right. And that's going to really cross hairs when we talk about the SEO, the Metro or SEO Basic, whatever, or SEO National, because they're going to use their team name as part of their site name. I'm sure you're going to explain this, but I don't want to jump the gun. But with the keywords that they're also going to be utilizing, or how you and your team tie in the keywords to their campaign, then that's where a lot of the keywords for real estate agent versus the company are going to come into play. So.
Yeah, let me stop you right there, Granson. That's a really good point. And I will tell you that I do a ton of searching for real estate agents online, not because I like to buy a lot of houses, but because it's part of my job, right? So one of the things I do notice on a pretty regular basis is that realtors in general like to have a domain with their name, like NancyAnderson.com. Nancy Anderson is a realtor and she has a website, NancyAnderson.com. Well, if your website is NancyAnderson.com, then I would suggest your business directory submissions be Nancy Anderson with your email, phone number, address, right? If your website is the Nancy Anderson team, then I would suggest that your submission to directories be Nancy Anderson team. You can only help yourself by duplicating the way you present yourself via website or directory. So that maybe is a more clear answer to the question.
Okay, I like that. Two more questions. One we'll save for the information that I'm going to send out anyway, but it says, if we wanted to hire a company to do this, what is the cost and how long does it take? What I will make sure to do is send the offer. I did put it in the chat area. There's a link in the chat area if you want to go there, and that link will take you directly to the order form. It's a PDF where you can download it. We do work by a FIFO, first in, first out kind of service, but so the quicker you get those in, the more better. We're going to start quicker, faster, better for you. I will email this out again to everyone to make sure that you have it. And the final question was, thank you. You're welcome very much. We answered some more questions. Thank you. Realtor, they are asking. The name question, what do they have here? Name, advertising. Okay, so that one is just a kind of a comment there. Lastly, replay link. How can I view the repost of this webinar? In the next email that you're going to get from us, we are going to state that there's going to be the next webinar is next Tuesday. We'll have the download link, and we'll have the replay link after all 4 webinars are done. If that's okay, all right? So we'll send one email that has all the replay links on it. Actually, no, we'll put it up, but we'll send it out, and then the others will be on there when we finish, right? That's how we're going to do it. So hopefully we answered all your questions. If there are any more questions, Dustin, anything else you want to say before we close out for today?
No, I just want to say thanks for your time, and I hope you took something valuable from it. I don't do a lot of speaking to our customers in this fashion, but I will tell you that from day one in this company, this has been a popular question: how do I get to the first page of Google? And
right.
So that's part of the reason why we wanted to address this, and hopefully you've gotten some things from this that that can help you in that process to get into the first page of Google. It's more and more important nowadays with how often the internet is used to find information. That number just continues to grow. So hopefully you took something valuable from this. If I went too fast, I apologize. But we are certainly open to questions, comments, concerns. Anytime, day or night, you hopefully have our contact information, and certainly reach out to us if you have questions.
Great. Thank you all very, very much. We will finish this meeting as of now, and stay tuned for the next session when we talk more about how to get on the first page of Google. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great afternoon or a great rest of the day.